Donald Trump's legal woes continue to haunt him. The former U.S. president stepped foot in the New York court for the second day for his civil fraud case hearing, and Trump's $250 million civil fraud trial began yesterday in New York City. Now, the no-jury trial in Manhattan is expected to last nearly 3 months, and former President Donald Trump and several of his children are listed as potential witnesses. The legal battle began when New York Attorney General Letitia James filed a civil lawsuit against Donald Trump, his adult sons and associates in September of 2022. The lawsuit alleges that they engaged in a decade-long pattern of fraudulently inflating the value of their assets. They are accused of inflating the value of their assets by an estimated $1.9 billion to $3.6 billion annually over 10 years. This case has the potential to affect Donald Trump's many ongoing legal battles, but the outcome is unlikely to shake his confidence in the 2024 presidential election. Let's try and get in a sense of perspective in terms of what this could mean for Donald Trump and the Grand Old Party. And for that, I'm joined in by my guest today, Amy Tarkanian, who's the former Nevada State GOP chairwoman and also a Republican strategist. Many thanks to you, Amy. A pleasure to have you as always. Now, Donald Trump's lawyers say this is how real estate works, saying that the differences in valuations were just part of the commercial real estate business. In your view, is this a case about inflated asset values or partisan politics?
Well, I think it's safe to say it's probably a little bit of both. You know, this judge is actually somebody who also campaigned on the fact that he would want to go after Donald Trump. So really, he should recuse himself. And the fact that this attorney general also campaigned, as you rightfully pointed out, on wanting to take Donald Trump down is concerning. And so unfortunately, that does minimize some of the seriousness of what is now being found out, possibly that's being alleged by Donald Trump and his sons. Inflation of numbers, I guess, could be considered somewhat normal in this business. But when you're talking about not just hundreds or thousands, you're talking about millions, possibly billions, that's where it affects the amount of loans that one is given in order to continue with their business. So someone such as myself may not be able to get a loan as large as, say, somebody like Donald Trump, because I don't make quite nearly as much. But when you inflate the numbers as much as it's being alleged that he did, that's where the problem lies. Now, the other situation, however, is being pointed out is that there had been no complaints filed, however, by these banks that gave these loans over the years. So that's going to be interesting to see how that part plays out. Right. But when you have, even a scenario where Donald Trump supposedly had claimed that his residence was something around 33,000 square feet, and in reality it was 11,000 square feet, that's also quite a large difference when you can just go into an app called Zillow and find that out for yourself.
Absolutely. Amy, Trump has claimed that the civil fraud trial took him off the campaign trail and cast the trial as a political attack against him, and yet he has appeared at the court. What explains his contradictory moves?
Sure. Well, it just feeds into his whole victim narrative. And so what he's doing is he's continuing to bring his devoted MAGA base into the courtroom with him. So that way he can sit there, he can look stern, he can look frustrated, and that way everyone can feel empathy and sympathy for him while he's being so-called persecuted. He is not being taken off the campaign trail, so to speak, because technically by law, he doesn't have to be there. He's chosen to be there. And it's been made very clear that he didn't have to be there. So he's using this as a fundraising apparatus, just like he has with his other indictments. And he's using this as a way to pull on the heartstrings of his devoted followers.
Right. Amy, how do you assess the risk this entire case poses to Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, the former president's own business in New York, where Trump built up this name and image before entering the White House in 2016? How high are the stakes?
Sure. Well, it's interesting and it's bewildering because with each indictment, he continues to grow stronger and stronger, and the base just continues to blow off each situation, thinking that they too are next in line to become the government's next victim. And so, you would think that this would be the end, that there's got to be a bottom, but it doesn't seem that that's the case. So I think he's going to, unfortunately, continue to be the lead possible nominee for the Republican Party, and if he's found guilty in this situation, which it seems the judge has already made up his mind, he's been pretty clear about that. It's just, how much now is he going to be asked to pay in fines? It's not going to affect him, and there's no jail time tied to this. So I think once again, he's just going to come out on top as the Republican nominee, and we're going to end up with a lose-lose situation with a President Biden versus President Trump all over again.